Brilliant. This is the final segment from me, and we'll hand back to the pro. Tom will be back very shortly to host the remaining sessions. But we've got another brilliant session here from Nick Watson, who's SVP of Global Experiences at Cheetah. Cheetah is one of those companies that has been through a lot of changes and has adapted and moved. It's a company that many people will recognize, and we're going to pick up on that theme of personalization and the boundary between what is brilliant, what's relevant, what will people appreciate, and not being overly creepy. So I'd like to welcome Nick to stage, who's going to talk us how to get the right balance in personalization. Thank you, Nick. Warm welcome for Nick.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's good to be here. I would love to talk to you about not being creepy, if that's okay today. So, in the last year, I've had my second child and I've moved house. And in that time, therefore, I'm struggling for friends. I don't live near anyone anymore. I haven't got any friends because I've had no life, because it's pretty tough having 2 kids. So I want to be your friend, and I want you to come around to dinner. And if you're going to come around to dinner, there's a big question. Nice responsive clicker. What should I cook? Well, the big thing is, I don't know any of your preferences. I don't know what you like to eat, your likes, your dislikes. Importantly, I also don't know about your allergies. I might potentially poison you or make you seriously ill with my cooking. So I've got a few choices about the way in which I can decide what I'm going to cook for you. First off, I can come round to your house and I can snoop through your rubbish. I can pull apart your rubbish bags, I can take a look at what you've bought in the past, and I can infer, therefore, what you might want to buy in the future. It's pretty dirty work, but it's effective. There are a few things about that. I don't necessarily know whether you enjoyed that product. I don't know if it was you that ate it or anyone else from your family. So that's one way of dealing with that. The second one is, me and The Rock could come with some binoculars and we could look in through your window. We could take a look at you eating at lunchtime, at breakfast, at dinner, and look to see what you're eating, whether you're enjoying it, and then make a decision on what to cook, therefore, when you come round. So both of those, if I wasn't going to get arrested for going through your rubbish, I am certainly going to get arrested for spying on you through your window. So there's one thing that I could do that's pretty obvious, and let's be honest about it, many brands forget to do this, could just ask. And that would be the normal thing that you'd do if someone's come around to your house for dinner. You'd say, hey, are you a vegetarian? Do you like olives? Have you got any allergies? And it's as simple as that. If you want to find out about what your consumers are looking for, you can ask them. And I promise you, it really is as simple as that. And in this era of privacy, with third-party cookies going away, with the fact that there's GDPR and other privacy regulations, it's more important than ever for a brand, or if you're an agency advising a brand, to collect and own your own data that's declared, it's self-reported by your consumers, and you can use that data rather than inferred or observed data to better target, personalize all of your communications and everything on from there. Now, if I had lots of money, I'd put together an ad and make loads of exploding people. And ultimately, Apple have told the same story, but with a much bigger budget. I haven't got that budget today. Now, Apple have got a few reasons why they're doing this. They're sticking 2 fingers up at Google and Facebook, no question. But they're also going with consumer sentiment about privacy. Importantly, many consumers care about how their data's used. 70% of consumers have taken privacy steps. And we ran some research with e-consultancy. 55% of consumers will share data directly with a brand, and we found that many consumers were willing to participate in loyalty schemes if they were asked as well. So, you need to go about building a relationship on trust using data that you have received from a consumer that they've reported and they've given you permission to use from there. This is called zero-party data by Forrester's term. At the moment, many brands are collecting first and some sort of zero-party data, but how they're doing it? Well, a simple basic newsletter sign-up, or perhaps a preference center that's dead, it's not interactive, no one's going to it right now. So they think they've ticked the box of asking people what they want, but ultimately no one is using that preference center to provide that data. So I'm going to talk you through some examples of creative ways some of our clients have been collecting data. Each of these examples, at the core of it, it's about driving a connection with the consumer, some engagement, and collecting first and zero-party data. So Manchester United, at the beginning of the pandemic, obviously there was no crowds allowed back into the stadiums when football restarted. Most football teams, like many brands, have got lots of unknown fans, and they need to convert them to known fans. So it's really important for them to drive sign-ups and get first-party data. So they creatively thought of an idea to ask fans to upload a photo of themselves, that if they did that, they would be printed off on these massive sheets of images that were presented and put in the stadium. The fans could be there when they couldn't be there as well. So what have we learnt about this? Well, the first thing is, if you want to collect data with a creative idea, offer something that money can't buy. Don't just give an iPad away. That's not going to do the trick. Give them something that's relevant to your brand. Be agile and have the means to be agile, to create an experience that takes an opportunity and in a moment like this, the pandemic, to drive the right type of data collection as well. And engage with your consumers and make them feel part of your brand family as well. With Bud Light, many of the drinkers, the younger drinkers, are no longer drinking beer. Beer sales are going down. But in the US in particular, these hard seltzers are starting to appeal to a younger demographic. They're lower in calories, they're light tasting as well. So Bud Light knew that they needed to target a certain demographic of consumers in order to reach them. They could have obviously just made a great TV ad and put a digital experience, digital ad out there and push people to go and buy in a bar or in store as well. And they may well have done that. But what they also did is create a creative hook. Who doesn't like to be the king or queen of creating memes? So in this instance, they engaged with the right demographic by asking people to be the chief meme officer. They could win a 3-month supply of the hard seltzer, but they could also be the chief meme officer and have the kudos of creating memes for Bud Light Seltzer as well. So they knew their target audience. They reached and engaged them with a creative hook that was relevant to the brand, and they asked them to actively participate to collect that data, rather than just passively saying, here's a cool brand, it's got low calories, go and buy it as well. And of course, they had some data to then start a relationship with those consumers as well. We also have a moment, and being, as you know, a parent, as I said, with Enfamil, the most important thing for parenting brands to know is where in the customer life cycle, where in the parenting stage is the customer. And in this instance here, the guys in Enfamil Canada put together an experience and offered a moment whereby at the first birthday of your child, you could upload a photo, you could create a unique graphic with pictures of, as you can see, dinosaurs and fun things to make a unique asset. And then not only could you create that asset and download it or share it to your social network, you could also send that to a Walmart photo center. So in this instance here, they are appealing to a moment in time. They're appealing to the audience to give them something that's relevant to their particular product and the service. It's not something that's directly like win a prize. It's saying this is something that's a service that you might like because you're a parent. They importantly also therefore know that that particular consumer, if they've signed up for subsequent personalized marketing, has got a 1-year-old, so they can target them appropriately with the right products from there on as well. And if we want to tie all of this in to something that's bigger as a program, the example is the fans loyalty program. And this encompassed lots of experiences like the ones that we've just seen, whether that's quizzes, whether that's exclusive content, whether that is finding the chance to go to an experiential event when that opens up with someone from the skate community as well. So there's a really good opportunity for Vans to bring consumers into the Vans family. This isn't a loyalty scheme built on points or tiers or anything else like that. It's be part of our community, we'll treat you like your family, and we'll give you exclusive offers and content and chances to be part of something special at Vans. they had over 12 million members sign up in the first 2 years. And if you look at that statistic, what's also really key is that over 50% of their direct-to-consumer revenue is from those loyalty members. So if you can find your consumers and if you can make them loyal, they will become customers for life, and you will drive massive incremental revenue and customer lifetime value as well. So how do we do that? I'm from a software company, so I have to tell you a little bit about that, otherwise I get told off. So you can deliver that on our Cheetah Experiences platform. We've got loads of these framework experiences to collect data. You can add your creativity on top of it. You can publish these across any channel, in an app, on a website, as a next action from a social ad or social story as well. And that forms part of our customer engagement suite. So we not only have the experiences part of our suite, we have cross-channel messaging, personalization, real-time on-site personalization, as well as personalized offers and recommendations. We have our loyalty platform that delivered vans. By the way, the messaging platform, the loyalty platform are Forrester leaders in their sector as well. And then we have underpinned our engagement data platform, our single customer view, with AI and machine learning to really be intelligent and dynamic about the way that you can contact your consumers at the right time, the right place. We're a global organization and we're dedicated to marketers, and we work with some great brands across many verticals across the globe as well. So let's wrap up. Blueprint for success to be creative and not creepy is to own your own first-party data. Build that community built on trust, that you've collected data that's willingly and proactively shared by someone who wants to engage with your brand. And you can do that by offering a relevant and complementary value exchange, not just an iPad, but something that money can't buy or that is specific to your brand and the type of consumer that you want to engage. And most importantly, if you're a brand marketer or if you're an agency, put your creative spin on the top of it, because that's what's going to be the key and the hook to get someone to engage with you, and you can start a relationship with them, hopefully for the long term, and they can come and dine at your table for life. So thanks ever so much. If you haven't come over to our claw machine, it's been quite a hit. Come over to the picnic table and please participate. There's some good prizes to be won there as well. And I'll be there if you want to chat afterwards as well. Thank you.
We've got a little bit of time for some Q&A. I thought that was a great session. On this theatre over the last couple of days, we've heard a lot of creatives. We've heard a lot about some of the emerging technology and the chance to really redefine experiences. They're really interesting, I think, in terms of data collection. Is the future of data collection experiential, or should we stop giving away crap iPads and offering holidays to Aruba for our sponsors?
We do coin the term the ABCD of collecting data, always be collecting data. So the idea is any channel, anytime, any place, if you have an opportunity to engage and collect some direct self-reported data from your customers, do it, basically. Whether that is an event on an iPad, getting someone to sign up, whether that's in social channels, whether it's on your website, if you're doing that, you're having a chance to own your own first-party data. And if you have that, you can then start a relationship directly. So many brands are disintermediated from their customers, and they're using third-party data sets, and they don't know who their customers are, and they can't reach them through any other means than some cookie data or targeting them on Facebook and things like that. So own the chance to directly talk to your customers, and I think that's what's most important if you ask us.
Fantastic. And you mentioned some great examples there from Reckitt, from AB InBev. These are big global brands.
Yep.
How do you actually get these brands to think quickly enough for the magic to happen?
Yeah, that's interesting. What's been changing, we've seen, is the dynamic of how difficult it is in a big organization to get ideas going. And actually AB InBev are really driving that. We work with them in North America, and they have got this set up so that they can dynamically think of an idea and deliver a data capture experience within a week, and we're helping them to deliver that. So if they see an opportunity and they see a moment to catch up with something that's happening in world events or anything else that's relevant or applicable, they can do that. So, for example, they decided to offer free beer to young people who went to get a COVID vaccination. So they took an opportunity there to do something that was driving the right behaviours that they could do as well, and they were able to quickly respond to the need to deliver that as well.
I wanted to ask you a question about the pandemic. You know, I think a lot of businesses, you heard from Amanda earlier from One Fine Stay, one thing Amanda could bet on, probably until the last 18 months, is that people were going to book a holiday somewhere lovely in the summer. The business was no doubt built on data that people book holidays.
Yeah.
A lot of brands are probably thinking, well, does my data still ring true? How can the actual process that you collect data inform the way that you build data and trends in the future?
Yeah, the idea is to progressively profile, and the concept of what might be a dynamic preference center. You constantly are taking an opportunity to ask, reinforcing, is this still true about you? What else can you tell us? And therefore that you at least know that the data isn't too stale and that it's still relevant. The other thing is, you know, if you're using that data built on trust, you can tell people, you told me this, so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna offer you a recommendation, or I'm gonna personalize this content for you because you told me that's what you're interested in. You can also then say, if this has changed, tell me what's different. And so that idea of this much more two-way relationship between a brand and a consumer can mean that data isn't stale and you can know that it's relevant, and you've earned the right to use that data to personalize your marketing and communications as well.
Fantastic. And obviously the big cookies debate. Radio 2 had a feature on cookies.
Did they?
Recently. People were ringing, outraged from Tunbridge Wells. Was absolutely furious about cookies. I mean, are brands and agencies actually going to be able to move fast enough to replace that ecosystem that we've had with cookies?
I don't presume so, and there will be another, whether it's Flock or there'll be something else that will replace it to a point. And whether it will be as effective, whether you'll be able to do what you were able to do before, there'll be a version of it in some way, shape or form. But what we're always saying is make sure that you're supplementing whatever happens with the replacement of what, you know, the third-party cookie, supplement it with, if you have a chance. So, for example, if you've used another method to target through, let's say, Flock, rather than just target, drive someone to go and buy with an ad that's passive, ask them to come and give you some data so that next time you don't have to go back and use that segmented kind of anonymized data to find people again. You can go directly to them and you can begin that relationship. So it's just that chance to always try and collect some data that you have the right and the privilege to then directly talk to the consumer.
Fantastic. And we've talked a lot about the brands that are embracing this stuff, doing things a little bit differently. Got a lot of publishers attending today as well. What should publishers be doing to approach the space?
In terms of publishers, well, then they should be offering opportunities to expand upon the placement and the use of data. So obviously, in terms of ad publishers, we also actually work with media publishers, like, for example, magazine and content publishers as well. And lots of them use the Experiences platform to collect their own audience data so that they own that. And they also collect data as part of advertiser promotions as well, and they give the option for the opt-in for the advertiser. Therefore, they then share the data, and it has a sort of second-party data agreement as well. So that's things that could happen. There are different options to offer an opportunity to still have data capture, first-party data capture as part of some sort of advertising experience, and then share that data, but do it with the right permissions and opt-ins, so that it's all done with trust and you know, with consent as well. So nothing creepy.
Fantastic. Well, two blokes standing on stage. I hope that wasn't too creepy. I hope you enjoyed it. Nick, you've been a superstar. Thank you very much. I'd like you to give a round of applause to Nick.